Some jobs could obviously not be done without proper training. Other jobs are easier to get into without formal instruction. But organisations ignore the importance of training at their peril. Productivity is one of the key success factors in a business. But a workforce can't be productive unless it is properly trained. Training is part of the broader concept of workforce planning, which also includes recruitment. Making sure the workforce has the skills to deliver the organisation's objectives. Training is often a considerable cost to the business, but also delivers important benefits.
Many studies have shown that organisations in both the public and the private sector have failed to invest enough in training. They've seen it as a drag in terms of time and cost, rather than a strategic investment in the future.
Training is very important because it makes the staff feel valued and it makes them far more valuable to the company, because good training will ensure a high staff retention rate. Now that is worth real money to the company, and that is because recruiting new people and training new people is very expensive.
£200,000.
But training is also linked to another important concept: development.
Development is more than training. It's about making an employee realise their full potential, and that might be potential beyond the job that they're currently doing. Now, that could include training, but really development is the umbrella under which training takes place.
At General Mills UK and Ireland, it's development in the wider sense that reaps the big rewards. Training courses are only a tiny part of this.
So for me, under the whole development, I would put training, yes, absolutely, but also the myriad of other things that we put around that to help people develop and grow.
Part of this process is for line managers to meet with staff to discuss their development needs.
Where do you want to be in your career? You know, what particular activities that you really love doing? What are your strengths? What are the things you're really great at? Because actually, you know, why focus on people's weaknesses?
How do you know when it's right?
Depending on what you want to use it for. If it's sort of, you've got quite a bit of filling, I usually knock it up. So it's pretty much like this. I usually have it a little bit more like a cake mix. Not like a batter though, because that's just too runny. You can't do nothing. It needs to stick on the wall. Kind of thought about decorating. My dad does it. I used to go to college 1 day a week, and I didn't know how much I'd enjoy it. But yeah, it is, once you've learned how to do it as well and how quickly you can do things, it's a bit more enjoyable. You do get to work with someone who's got more experience, and if they spot that you're doing something wrong, they will say, no, that's not how you do it. Or if you're doing it and they say, well, actually, if you try it this way, it's a little bit easier. So it's nice to pick up the tips. It's nice to hear stories about the sites they've been on, the jobs that they've done, and also like what they know, they pass on to you. Then on the Fridays, I would go to college. You were given a room to sort of decorate, and you'd learn to paper, you'd learn to paint, oil-based paints, water-based paints, how you treat the brushes, you know, what happens if you spill it and stuff like that, the drying times and what you use them for. It is all stuff that, you know, you learn. When you first start, I mean, when I first started, there was a lot that I didn't know. It was the runs I used to get in my paint, And and then I pick up a tip on how to get rid of the runs and stuff like that, and how much paint you put on a paintbrush. You've got someone and they are telling you where you're going wrong, and it does help. And if you can't get it, they keep showing you how to do it. At college, you're taught all the problems that you could come across.